All right, welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I am your host, Cardin Ellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everyone.
Cody, what are we talking about today?
Okay, so today, guys, we're going to go through a kind of a long Twitter thread started by a Twitter user here. It looks like it is at Kashani Obe, to find together. Anyway, where someone asked, and they said, hashtag Yang, what did you tweet about before your accounts went to Yang? The first person starts off saying, in the recent years, my posts have mainly been about spirituality, healing, nutrition, Prince, I believe the artist, consciousness, mindfulness, and the law of attraction. And we're just going to go through with you guys and read some of these replies and just kind of talk back and forth. I think one of the things that kind of originally drew us to Andrew Yang and the Yang Gang, so to speak, and all that, and I think a lot of people as well, is how diverse the background is. You have people from a lot of different political backgrounds, even just interests, music, like it doesn't feel like, oh, I know what that supporter looks like. And we're going to see, just kind of going through, and we're going to kind of just comment on what we see. So here we go. So we'll start from the top. Let's go through a couple right here. I started at Twitter because I heard Yang was very active on it. The non-Yang things to tweet about are MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, WWE, food, and puns. So, hey, shout-outs WWE, man. Big ups.
All right, rock on. What's the next one?
Crypto and Forex. On Forex, because we have a crypto.
So we've got a WWE guy, a big crypto geek. Awesome.
Bernie, Progressive Ideas, Georgism, don't know what that is, and UBI, just the place with Bernie part where the egg most is. So here we go, former Bernie supporter. Again, you're going to notice that all these people aren't former supporters of anyone in particular, but definitely some former Bernies. And this is the other answer you're going to see a lot of.
Yeah.
Nothing. I got Twitter, never used it, and started using for Yang. You're going to see a lot of these. Tyree and Pamstein, I'm sure a lot of you people recognize her. She posts a lot of funny pictures with Yang like this. There we go. There's a couple. And she says that her first tweet ever was a pro-Yang tweet. Another one of the people, and you're going to go through here, and you're going to see a lot of people who made accounts specifically talk about Andrew Yang. Well, I think that speaks a lot to the kind of candidate Andrew Yang, as people are flocking to Twitter to support him.
Well, it speaks more than a lot. In fact, like 3 videos ago, I said this is one of the most important facts about Andrew Yang and why I'm trusting the internet polls more than I am some of these other polls that show him polling lower, because the methodologies are all bad. We didn't trust the Trump polls in 2016. I shouldn't say we, but the nation didn't trust them and said, oh, he's not polling as high. He's not polling as high. Then he takes the entire election, while the internet polls actually said he was doing well. And part of the reason was because he was having thousands of people show up that were first-time registrants. And I mean, there are numbers that our politician class crunches in Washington, D.C. and in Sacramento. And this is why an individual getting involved actually can have a lot of sway. They believe generally that for every letter that you get to your congressman, there are 800 people that feel the same way you do. So if they get 5 letters, they're crunching the numbers in their heads thinking, holy crap, 40,000 people are pissed off by this measure. Or holy crap, 40,000 people want this measure because I just got X amount of letters or emails or tweets or whatever, okay? So I believe there should be some kind of measurable quantifier of enthusiasm for a candidate based upon how many first-time registrants he's getting. And what better way to predict first-time registrants for voting than setting up a Twitter account? They're about as hard. It's as easy. It might actually even be a little bit harder. Definitely to get the blue star next to your name. You know what I'm saying? I would venture to say in some ways it's harder to get a Twitter account than it is to actually register to vote. So
I don't know about that.
That's not worth overlooking. Yeah, at least in California. We're motor voter here, man. You're practically automatically registered. You click like a box. That's it. So anyway, keep going.
All righty here, folks. Let's switch back over. Let's go through. Again, like I said, you're going to see a lot of stuff. Jokes what a bunch of blood first lunatics to people posting anti-QAnon stuff. Didn't have account or want one, and now I am hooked. This is where the MSM gets their news stories. LOL. I know stuff before Anderson Cooper does.
Yeah, that is true.
But you're saying again, a lot of people were saying, like, honestly, I didn't even think about Twitter. I never thought about using Twitter at all. I joined Twitter for the first time the day after the June debates. Hey, look at that. The day after the debates. When we spoke with where we had a video that came out, I guess when you guys are watching this will be a day ago, the video was published, where we spoke with some truck drivers and people at Trucking Town. And one of the guys told us, we asked them, oh, you heard of Andrew Yang from where? It's the June debates. So we kind of asked how important that first debate was going to be for getting the name up for Andrew Yang. Well, it's anecdotal, but we have one person right here saying, I made an account because of the debates. And we spoke with the gentleman who said, I only know who he is because of that first debate. So,
1 out of 4 of our truckers said I knew about him because of the debates. That's 25% right there.
Yeah, of everyone. Nothing. This account was dormant until the Joe Rogan podcast. Again, so we see more. This guy said that he actually has a Twitter account for his band and his solo music, and he said Yang is just a bonus.
And Russian bots for Yang says cat memes and lib owning.
Again, but you'll notice there's no general.
Yeah, there's no. The Yang gang's diverse.
Oh, of course, yeah. You get a little bit of all of it. I don't want to make it feel like I'm skimming through people. I'm just looking through. I honestly dislike social media. I wasn't even on Twitter until Andrew Yang.
I am right there with Paul.
That's a pretty good one.
I'm right there with Paul.
I wanted to highlight something else really quick while we're talking
Okay.
about this, and it's just because what does it actually mean, right? That people say they joined Twitter because they like Andrew Yang. Like, what does it actually mean, right? Well, this is what I think people are talking about. First of all, I love this idea. Anyway, I believe this is a young woman, Jay Murray. Hey, husband is here for the game. I'm here for the publicity. That has something to do with the Vikings, I believe.
That is hilarious.
And they had a sign at the Vikings preseason game that says Google Andrew Yang. However, what's interesting, though, if you notice...
That is genius.
But if you notice the tweet right beneath it, Andrew Yang himself saying thank you.
Oh!
What I'm saying is...
Oh, she got pub from the Yangmeister himself.
Oh, of course. Well, you see what I mean, though. The fact is, when people say, like, why would people go to Twitter because Andrew... Why would they make a Twitter account? Because it doesn't make sense. You make a Twitter account because you support Andrew Yang. Why can't you support him on Facebook, right? But this is what people this is why I think we see people flock to Twitter to follow Andrew Yang, is because one thing he's done a very good job of is not only being available on Twitter, but being someone who's got his eyes on Twitter in a kind of more human way. I think it's really cool to see.
Yeah, and you can't undervalue that, Cody.
Of course not.
Forget, we took interest in Andrew Yang basically as an interesting candidate, and in order to dissect his ideas and his policy proposals, but didn't take really interest in the Yang gang or really Andrew Yang on a personal level until that interview.
Well,
remember how I said I
yourself.
was in... Okay, well, fine. Well, I will speak for myself. When I was impacted and I thought, okay, this guy's cool, I actually want to invest more energy into him, was when we were having that interview and I was getting the microphone set up and I said, yeah, man, someday the world's going to hear about me and know my name, and someday the whole world's going to hear about you and know your name, man. And he looks up at me and says, yeah, dude, I like that, man. I like that, And it was a very personal interaction that was just that 1 second. It was deep. It was human. It was authentic. And it left an impression on me to such a degree that I thought, okay, cool. This dude's different than other politicians. I don't mind doing more podcasts on him. And the next thing you know, here we are, Problem Solver Politics, where like 90% of our content is Yang stuff right now. So anyway, you can't undervalue that. I don't know if I would have felt that way had I not had that interaction with Andrew Yang himself. And who knows? He might have just created a super fan, by simply saying, hey.
They're already going to the
it's a strength.
football games.
It was a strength of Obama's. I mean, he was the first president to
people gotta like you, man, right?
Yeah.
People gotta like you.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. I'm sorry. I'm trying to pull something up right now. If you could just...
If it's about Elizabeth Warren, I don't want to see it. No, I'm just kidding.
You're not a fan of Elizabeth Warren? Well, actually, we're going to do a video on Elizabeth Warren. Anyway, really quickly, Cardin.
Yes.
So, when it comes to social media...
Yes.
And Andrew Yang, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Did you ever, seriously, before, I guess, 2012... consider social media as a platform and a place where you think the president would be on and talking to people? I would say up until Trump won, I never thought I'd see the president on Twitter. But we see Yang already interacting with Twitter. So what would it look like, Yang in the White House in that sense?
Actually, I was surprised that presidents didn't get on Twitter earlier. And I think it was because all of their stupid campaign managers and fundraisers and consultants that supposedly tell them what the people are thinking at the time are all a bunch of idiot Gen Xers and baby boomers who are drunk off of Washington, D.C. money, Xanax, and steakhouse frequent flyer miles, okay? And they don't actually have an ear for what the people want or anything of the sort. So they were giving bad advice to these politicians saying, oh, don't worry about that. Oh, no, that's a passing fad. Oh, no, that's just for the younger generation. The internet was a massive disruptor, but I really don't think it was as big a disruptor. It could have been a bigger disruptor earlier in politics had the politicians actually adopted it sooner. And the advantages that Donald Trump gets out of it, and Andrew Yang is getting out of it, I think could have happened earlier for a lot of other candidates had they adopted it earlier.
Of course. So now here's a little bit of kind of what does it all mean, right? Why does it matter?
Yeah.
Who cares? People on Twitter for Andrew Yang. It's nice, right? Now, this is just an online poll. No one gets elected based on it. However, I want you guys to take a look at this. And a lot of you guys have seen this already. We've talked about it on our streams before. This is a I think I love.
It's up to 72,000 now.
Not only is that, Andrew Yang is taken. Last time we looked at this, guys, it was dead even at 50-50 at 50,000 votes. And it's moved on. I also want to highlight one thing that cracks me up always. This is one of my favorite. It's just one of those great little Twitter moments. I personally would vote for Trump because I like him as a president at the rate he's going now. Says Trump warrior forward 45. Like, oh, really? You would support? I would never guessed. But this is what it looks like. We have a poll with over 70,000 votes, and Andrew Yang is currently leading. Now, internet polls are very easily swayed. They can be boosted by bots. A lot of things can happen.
And that also,
but I don't think that's happening here. I think the enthusiasm and energy for Andrew Yang, it's at least on Twitter. We're seeing it in the polls a little more. It's at least on Twitter. And
and also that might be a testament to the efficacy of the Yang Gang, because we had mentioned this Twitter poll 2 days ago, I believe it was, in our live stream. And
Thursday, yes.
Yeah, on Thursday.
Oh, so it'll be 3 days.
Okay, 3 days. Thursday. And it was a dead heat 50-50. But I noticed inside of our live chat, which you guys got to join. We're doing that every Tuesday and every Thursday. People are saying, hey, let's get on this poll. Hey, let's get on this poll. And then in our Discord chat, which you guys got to join, people are also saying, hey, we got to get into this poll. Hey, we got to get into this poll. And with how many people we have on our chat and we have on our Discord, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know how explosive social media links can be, especially when you have 500, 1,500, 2,000 friends.
Well, actually, this poll should be ending right around the time you guys see this video. And we're also, I'm going to try, I'll see, we're going to try to stream the end of this poll as well. So,
yeah. So anyway, this I think should not be dismissed. And yes, it's easy to dismiss Twitter as Twitter, because yes, it is the cesspool of everybody's, intellectual vomit. But at the same time, it is the free market of ideas as most readily and easily accessible by everybody. And I mean, you can't see this amount of energy and this amount of enthusiasm, not think that it will translate, not see that it is translating into some of the other polls that, in my opinion, just have older methodologies. So anyway, let us know what you guys think. Well, let us know what you think about this data. What were you tweeting before you started tweeting for Andrew Yang? I got to tell you, I avoided Twitter like the plague. I hated Twitter. I was a Facebook guy. I know you're going to say normie boomer or something like that.
This guy isn't a boomer. He's just Facebook.
Yeah, but Facebook did start to suck, so I actually gravitated away towards it anyway and ended up getting on Twitter again. But primarily because of this podcast. Because it is true. You hear about news stories a day or two before Anderson Cooper gets a hold of them. And also, it was the fastest, most efficient way to connect with our fans and our viewers. Speaking of which, if you're not following us on Twitter, make sure you follow us at PSP Radio 1. If you haven't liked this video, make sure you like it. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't shared, please share, because this is independent political talk. So it's going to get deranked by a lot of the algorithms. And if you want to contribute to the channel, please, there is a link below where you can send us some coin via PayPal. This is Problem Solver Politics.